problem we kind of missed in the construction video. We had a problem where our bushrod mounting bolts on our front rudder pedals were interfering with the diagonal tube on each side of the fuselage here. They would rub here, and it came to find out we kind of missed it in Kevin's video. He mentions on your rudder pedals, the short stab on the bottom base always goes to the outside, and that the front ones are 1.25 inches wide. And we kind of missed that fact that the rear ones aren't 1.25 inches. So actually the offset is only 1 inch on the back and 1.25 inches on the front. We had them reversed. Didn't even realize there was any difference, but by the luck of the draw, we had both short outsides on the front when we were interfering here. So whenever you're building your Badlands, make sure that the longer short stabs are on the front outside, and then the shorter short stabs are on the rear rudder pedal outside, and that'll keep you from interfering with the side of the fuselage. So it is cut off. So this bottom edge is flush. So basically, you're going to have to measure up from the bottom edge half of this distance. Measure how wide this is. Is that a 1/2 inch wide? Half inch. So we're going to be measuring up a 1/4 inch, or right now 3/8 from the bottom edge. 3/8 from the bottom edge on all of them. All 4 of them lines on each one has to have a cross hatchet.
3/8 from the bottom edge before we cut it?
Before we cut it off, yeah. Before 3/8, yeah, because then it'll only be a 1/4 from the bottom after
You
we
want to
cut
mark
it.
those holes now?
Yeah, we're going to mark them now. We're actually going to drill them now before we cut everything. I think we're going to drill them. Now let's think about the door frame now. So now this is where the 1/8 inch comes in here. You got to allow for 1/8 inch of Lexan here, okay, holding this up, okay, and look, that sets you up. That sets you up to be identical. Cutting the 1/8 inch off here. Excuse my hack there. See how that is about an 1/8 inch sticking down there now?
Yep.
That's gonna,
Exactly.
so that's going to be over top of your Lexan. That's an 1/8 inch, and you've already set your offset here when you attach those. So that's right. Am I right, Mark?
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, you're right.
Almost fucked you up. X marks
did
the
that on
spot.
purpose.
Yeah, I did. We got all 8 of them. 2, 4. No, we don't. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we do. One more. We got to go back and mark that one we only marked half of. Remember, I didn't want to smear the ones. This marker takes a minute to dry. You gotta get rid of it. That's exactly what we like. We got a new standard cowl. Okay, so front to back. Okay, I'm going to need. Yeah, pull the outside two of each top end. You can go ahead and close it, Ray. And close it. Now pull the outside two so we can manipulate the quick release. Yeah, that'll let us pop the door. We're hanging right now on aluminum pop, single aluminum pop rivet on each hinge, going into the door jamb. We'll have to match drill through for the 832 holes tomorrow. You know. Okay, now Ray, take your door off. Yeah, don't let that come out of column. You should have one hand on each hinge. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey Ray, put your door on.
You're making them nervous.
I don't know if that will work. You might not be able to do it that way because the door will go too crooked.
Yeah.
You can get away with that when you're building the hinges, but you can't do it with the door on there because it's too big of a swing arm on it. That's unbelievable.
That is cool.
That is so cool. Good. Open her slow. Remember, we're just hanging on two aluminum rivets. Freaking right, buddy. Ah. Hey, guys. We had a pretty good weekend. Ray and Paula came in town and spent 2 12, 14-hour days here working with us. Let's take it from the front, not in the order we did it, but what's done. We got the top boot cowl fitted, and we have to trim it with a shear and do a little edge trimming on both sides, raise up the sides a little bit. But it's pretty, laying in there pretty good. All in all, pretty happy with how it fits. Got the floorboards in. They had those, and they sanded them and polyurethane the crap out of them. They look like I don't know what, marble. Look like very nice floorboards. Great job on that. And let's see what else is new. So the floorboards all the way back. We made the top shelf too. They have that. They're taking that back with them to clean up. The doors are fitted. We got a video late in the week on Friday. Give you a little bit of info on cutting these hinges down to size. And the slickest doors I've ever seen. You take them off that easy. Off them right back on. We don't have any of the bowl holes drilled all the way through. Everything's, they're just, the hinges are actually just held on with fabric, aluminum fabric rivets up here. We'll drill out pretty soon. And there'll be 832 bolts, four in each plate on the doors and on the door frames, 832 fan heads. And so that's done, both sides. The rudder cables, we run the rudder cables this week. Got the turnbuckles in, the short pieces of cables here with a little fancy titanium fitting. Nothing's final fitted because everything's got to come off the cover, but they're all the way back. They're unterminated at the rudder. And today we got our horizontal stabs back. We had a little snafu at the factory. We added these handles down here for lifting the plane off the ground when you're setting it on sawhorses. It's much easier to lift from low than it is up here. This is the stock location. Well, the welder kind of messed up, and he thought when we got them here, we didn't want them here. So they were kind enough to turn them around. In just 2 weeks, we set them back, and we got them back with all repowder coated with it. So now we got a handle on both sides for moving the plane around, pushing and pulling it. We've got a handle on both sides for lifting it. It's a real nice, I think every damn tail driver should have that on it. Anyhow, that's the Denny Row mod. We have these are roughed in too, horizontal stabilizers. They're not totally set true fore and aft to make sure we're straight on the trailing edge, and the struts are not quite perfect on the level. They're real close. They're level-wise, we're real close, but we have not even started setting up the fore and aft on them to make sure they're straight this way. But oh yeah, and the rudder is on, just hung. Got the bushings fitted in there. And got the pins on, and we started to cut a little bit off the rudder stop, but until we get the tail totally trued up and get the elevators put on, we won't have these ground to a halt. And we can't set up the rudder cables until the seats are totally installed and Ray and Paula could sit in it and see where they want the rudder pedals and that. But we're getting along. We're kind of putting parts on and emptying boxes. It's coming along real nice. So shouldn't be too long. The shocks are coming Wednesday from TK1. So we'll be able to get it off the sawhorses. I guess you may have noticed we got the gear legs swung under it. That's another thing, kind of glossed over. Just for looks, we're still sitting on the sawhorse, but we got the gear legs under it, and they're ready for the shocks then we can wheel it around and turn it sideways in here and get the wings on it. We're gonna have to squat the gear down it and drain the gas out of the shocks to get it low, but we'll get this thing crossways in here. We've got room to fit the wings on, and we'll get the ailerons rigged. That might happen in the next week or two. So there's a whole lot of stuff coming, but we want to have it set up so we can put the wings on, rig them, and get them off and be done with it, and they'll be ready to paint and that. But we have to make sure we have all the parts for the push rods for the ailerons and the hardware for the bell cranks in there, and that stuff's all on its way and that. So yeah, it's smoking along pretty good, I think. I think that about covers what we got done.